Hello, everyone. Now, I just want to talk a little about that great work that I've spoken of that has happened in me. That work that I could not describe, I could not explain as these things was being done in me and shown to me. Maybe I can try to make this my introduction video, and maybe, I guess I could. Let's see how it works. But because, try to explain how this has worked in me and what is that great work. Which would be impossible to explain in depth. I'm just going to try to put forth a little. Let me get my dog. Let me get Booger. Say hi, Bug. Say hi, Booger. Say hi, everyone. Yeah. And he's been my bestest friend through everything. I don't know what I would have done without my Booger. I love him so much. Yes, I love him so much. On my buddy. I really want to have him. I think he's like 8 now. My daughter might know how old he is, or my ex-husband. Because I want a little Booger, Or when something happens to him, I pass on his gene can continue. I don't know what I'll do today. I lose my Booger. But it was, mostly the purging. But I know now that some things was just to expand my horizon, my sight, to make me see there's so much more. But when it began, I'm like everyone else. I have, I went through the corruption, the confusion, not knowing, so you're only holding on to this little hope and faith that you have within you, your whole life. And there's so much that can be said about all of it, and when I opened the book and heard, and after many years of confusion, that's when I heard, and it was all good, and and it was alive. And I said, it's alive. This book is alive. But you have no sound. All you have is that faith. And what's happening to you even then, you don't know. But, there was things given to me, but I still denying. It's that part that you don't know. You're hearing, but you're hoping in it, but you're like, you have no, you're just, now the finished product, or becoming the finished product. That was so long ago. Now, what this work in me that's made me see what happened with me then and through my life and in these years, and 4 years ago, you wouldn't have, just a year ago, I wouldn't have fathomed where I'd be now and what I'd see. In 2 years, it's like to look back to 4 years, it's like where you was, and how it's that work. After that work, this process has been done in you. You could not speak through because you did not understand what was happening in you. You just knew it was, and it was amazing how the Spirit pours when it's just, there's no words. But I just want to try to explain some of the things, like even, dreams, visions. And, with all this work, when it's complete, you will be lacking of nothing. I know all these things will fit together, and it makes you able, but what will you be able? What exactly are you being formed into? And but to a point, but there's just, there's so many that has not seen and experienced all that has been done. And this work all had to be done in me. It was making me able to do my part. which I don't even fully understand yet. And understand, I was still filled with all that confusion and darkness. Even 4 years ago when it began, all I had is through the experience, of the word, and through the experience of faith through my life. That's all I had. And what I believed, what I had heard, I held to. And it, when it first began, when the understanding first began in me 4 years ago in 2011, it took probably a couple of weeks before I really, because at first it's like you just didn't know what was happening, and then it just was more and more evident. And then a year after the work, and then, but now, through that all, now I'm where I am today. And yet the work is not finished in me. But it's like through it all, you was strengthened and assured in all things. You was given all understanding. You're given, and through that understanding and that work, you're more and more assured and more able. And there's no words that can say. But I want to, also say, and I've wanted to speak on so many things, but there's just so much things that I now understand, like when I first, I've had little experience with vision, and with certain things with dreams. But even like the first vision dream that I ever, where I saw the Jewish man, now I understand the Jewish man sitting on my bed with the open book. That was when I first ate up the book. I understand in part this meeting. It was all a work. This was all the work happening in this one, in this vessel, with this vessel, making me what I, doing the work in me. It was not my work. I'm just, and I know I'm just one part of a mighty, mighty plan. And it was a plan of salvation from the beginning. I know now what I did not know. I understand the darkness that was in me. I understand what hindered me through my whole life. And I understand that what's happened in me is to make me able for what I will do, what's next. But I don't understand all things that are to come. All things, like I don't understand my eternity. I don't understand, what is the fullness of the plan of salvation and eternity. What is making us eternal? It's just, I'm given great things to see, and I kind of, do have understanding of certain things that come, but I don't, I haven't had certain assurance and fullness of understanding. The assurance comes in the fullness of understanding. Through the Spirit work, giving you, sight, and there's your assurance, and it's in the understanding. It's in knowing the truth. And it's just so. But I want to speak a little on, like the vision 2011, and when I saw, I want to speak more in all these, what these things mean, but I'm just explaining a little of how the work, and this work was to make me, to expand my mind, my sight, to be able to fathom what was going to be shown to me to come. All that, this happened at the beginning, the vision where I saw, the mighty one with the cloak. I understand. I didn't understand then. That's how it all works. The Spirit gives you understanding what you did not know, what you did not see. And now I understand the mighty one. I understand why he was neutral. He was neutral because I was neutral. I understand that now. I did not understand when it happened. I didn't know if he was for me or against me. I didn't know. What wasn't understood was within me. The veil, the covering he had, I know now, was showing me that was the revelation, what was going to be revealed to me. All I had was the image. All I saw in my vision was the image of the mighty one. And I understand what it meant now. And, I only understand in part, the other women that was with me there. Take it as you will, because you have no understanding. Once you've seen the true work, all man's carnal understanding is out the door. It's out of mind, out of sight. See, and with that work, to bring you through and through, I mean, it's a struggle because of what's still in you. But to bring you to, like, the empty and the, what has been done in me, that now you just see. Nothing's hidden, because you was the one that hid these things. They was hid from your own eyes. Oh, it's hard to explain these things, but I don't, in the vision, and where the only one I really am pretty sure I recognized was Lively, because I am, the one that came carrying 2 blue cups and presented them on the table. And it's funny because I was watching part of a video the other day of her, which I just, I wish I had time to watch more reply, but I can only do my work as I am able. And, I know Lively's doing what's given to her to do. There's a great work. We are just vessels. All of us, just vessels who have a work happening, who are, testifying today. We are vessels. We speak the word. We testify to what has been done in us. So when the cups, I want to speak of this more, because I'm even interested in hearing what Lively would say. Because the 2 blue cups was presented. All I saw was, and I know it was Lively that had the cups, and then, put them on the table. But then I don't remember seeing Lively anymore. It was just the finger coming down. Is this God? Is this God? Is this God? And each time I said no, because I know so much more was shown to me. But I know there's a spiritual understanding. I mean, it was what was given to me in that vision was preparing me for what was getting ready to happen with me and in me. And, and some things can only be understood in spirit. When you come to see, then it's spirit understanding. You understand the meaning, and I understand in part what the 2 cups, might mean, but I don't have full misunderstanding on this yet, but I will. I know that I will. That's how it works. That's, like when I did not understand the cloak. Now I understand what the cloak meant. All was hidden from me. And now, after the revelation, after the truth was revealed, little by little, that cloak was removed so I can see the one that's true. Not only the image, but the one that's true. That's what that signified. And, and then but I'm just saying, through the vision, through experience, through, however they was, whether you're in body, out of body, like then, I felt like I was actually led out of my house. And I understand what much of that means now. Like when I saw all this stuff around the room, and this isn't that one with the mighty one, with Lively. It's what I believe, who I believe was Lively, because but I don't know who there was a blonde woman sitting on a couch with long blonde ponytail. I spoke with her when I first walked in. She's the first one I saw, actually. And, it was just like a normal greeting. We're talking to each other, playing with my dog, and, I get up looking around, but I haven't found who this one on the couch was yet. I know the colors mean something. I only saw green, red, and blue in the vision. But except the cloak, was strange. It seemed like dark, like purplish, bluish, but like all colors, like, and I've described it in the video. But it seemed like it was kind of metalish looking, like some kind of really thin metal, but I think it was a polished silk or something. I don't know, but it seemed to have a weaving. It was all woven. But and I understand what, and I kind of have an understanding through the weaving of the word. There's a certain, and the word of weaving is in the scripture, but just, but also all the stuff, the clutter. This was all before, when it first began in me. The books, all the worldly things, I did not understand when I was looking around the countertop. And there was another woman at the other end looking around, and I heard her voice say, "These things are here for us." And Mark, these things are here for us. And sorry about that. And Mark has to get Booger riled up every time he walks down the stairs. But and then, and she's down there looking at whatever she's looking at, and it's just, I can remember it, and I can remember the top of the knot, the counter, there was like an etching, and I wish I could remember what that little marks carved into the wooden top and of the countertop. But there was books, screws, pins, there was just everything laying around, and I know it was all worldly objects, and now I understand. That was the worldly. It was all showing me the revelation, what was going to be consumed for me, the clutter. It was all cluttered everywhere. I did not know what these meant until after the revelation. The gown revealing the true one, the clutter that needed to be, these things are here for us, that needed to be taken away. But what else was in there? Then the thing I haven't understood yet is why the last time I said, when I was asked, is this God, is this God, is this God? And I said, no. It was different because each time it was like, no, that's not God. And no, and I remember the last one I think was like, I don't think so, so whatever, but it was more shown to me that I don't remember. And I believe that one day I will have remembrance of all these things that was shown. Or maybe this is the remembrance that maybe it's just signified, the remembrance that I now have. But, where was I going? What was that part I was going? Oh, after I said no. And then the next thing I heard was, yes, and like that voice. And that, next thing I know, I'm laying back in bed, like we just got back in bed. Booger's down there looking for a place to sit, and I'm just getting ready to lay back, pulling up my covers on me, like we just got there. And that's why I thought, it was really in body. But I've had the dream visions where I'm, I know that spirit, and, whether your spirit actually goes or whether it's just given, because I've had another experience a long time ago where just little ones that was just one throughout my life where I had no understanding. You experience it, but didn't know what I have now, and, excuse me, where I was soaring, I found myself soaring. This was a long time ago when I took a nap, laid my book down that I was reading, which was The Mist of Babylon, I think. And next thing I know, I'm soaring through space, wondering where is all the lights, because you didn't see the planets. And I can remember wondering, and I wanted to go on, but that's when I had, I wanted to go on to see what was out there, and but then I had a fear that I couldn't get back. That's when I remembered my body, and as soon as I had that fear, I saw, like through tunnel, I was right there. I could see myself laying on my bed. I could see myself laying on my side, on my pillow. Here's my book. And as soon as I had that fear, and I saw myself through like tunnel vision, like so far away, but so close. There I was, as in you're looking, through a telescope or something like that. And as soon as I saw it, next thing I know, I'm opening my eyes. I was zapped back, next thing. But that was 20 years ago or so. How long? Now maybe 15 years ago. And, you just put it off on the, back burner. You don't understand what happened. You've had little things like that through your life. But since my revelation, having the soaring dreams, where I chased after, I know there's more meaning, where I, chased after the ball through space, going what was probably speed of light. It was like I zoomed. It was indescribable, And when I caught the ball, and then everything slowed down, and all this, though, was part of preparing me to make my mind able to make me able to contain the work, to be able to perceive and fathom, what was happening with me. And that's just part of the spirit process that I don't fully understand these visions. And I just know it was part of my preparation. But you have to understand, when this is happening, I didn't only not understand, you still have that darkness in you. Oh, is this Satan? Oh, is this, blah, blah, blah. Because you still have those carnal things that man has put into you. So I'm thinking, is that Satan? I'm trying to decide whether this is something Satan's done or something, spirit. But I had to, you realize, it's just, I was led through all of it. I was brought through all of it. And now what I did not understand, I understand. Although I don't fully understand, I know the work that was done. I know it was all preparing me. So no, it wasn't Satan flying me through space, bringing me to this place where I thought, when I'm there and there's water in the middle and the trees all around me and it was darkness, and in me, and I've come to think that it's Mark, my very son, that I knew something or someone, but I perceived someone across the lake where I knew I needed to go across the lake. And that's when I went back in the water, thought I needed to come back up because I would have to breathe. And I realized you have the breath. You don't have to. I could breathe, and I didn't need the breath. I could be under the water. And but when I was standing there looking at all of it, it was so dark, and I thought, give it light. It needs light. Light of life. Light, light to give life to this place that I was in. And I know, I know the work was all spiritual. It was all spirit meaning. The place that I was at, the water, to give it life, that was all spiritual. It was all preparing me. And through all this, my carnal mind has been purged from seeing through the eyes of man. I now see him through what the Spirit has done and done in me and given to me. Now I have the eyes of Spirit. It was a work, all this that has been done in me these years. And it's, and that's not, that's just part of it. The vision, the dreams, not the flooding, the daily flooding. And, where some days you're just see so much just poured on you that, there'd be times it would take weeks for me to digest everything. And I would sometimes think, is this, because I hadn't understood the finished product that was going on with me. I think, am I going to, is it, I didn't want it to go away. I did not have I knew what, I have no boast in myself. This has all been done in me, given to me. And that's why it's so hard now, through all that's been done and shown to me. It has made me able. It's made me who I am today. It's made me what I'm becoming today. What I will be tomorrow. And I don't understand the fullness yet. But that's why those who don't, I know your carnal mind. I've seen it all. I know it was in me. All these things have been revealed. The Father shows the Son all things. So all of you who sit here and look, it's you. I know the separation. I know, and others. There's others who have this work in them, and and I don't know. Through what my part of why this is done in me. Not only that I can testify, but my testimony will help those who will go through the same thing, will see the same, will help them through. It's, so speak whatever you will against me, because you don't know what you're speaking. And I do see what you don't see, not from myself, through what has been done in me. And it's, when there's many who come and they'll make a video or comment, but really they're denying in a twisted way. They come to deny, trying to seem as if they're agreeing, but you're carnal, and you don't understand what I'm saying, because you have not. You're still filled with carnal, and it's now that this works in me, I see one work. I understand what has happened, and that Satan was consumed from my mind, from my eyes. All that was taken from me. It is a gift, and I have received the gift, and it was the seed is the word. That's, but man to receive in the carnal man in the unprepared ground. That it had the work that the Spirit has to work to prepare. It's a great work, and I'm not going to try to explain, but just I know when this work's fully done, it was not my work in it, but this work will be fully carried out through whatever why ever this has been done in me. And it wasn't only for myself. I don't know the fullness of what, will be done through me. I just know I'm only one part. And I know there's a great work, and it's going to continue. And until those who are still filled up with their carnal indoctrination, the word is dead. Your indoctrinations are dead until Spirit gives you understanding. It is a mighty work that takes place when this happens. And it doesn't happen overnight. It is a process. You have to, because man could not, we are being prepared for what will be next. And if you're, in every video, I do not boast in myself, and I do not, it's the work of Spirit that I boast. There is my boast in the mighty work and the mighty gift that has been done and given to me. So speak against me all you will, because it's not me you're speaking against. And I don't speak for myself. I speak for those who will hear. I speak because of what I know, what I'm able to see. And I share with others. Because my lips have been prepared. The word on them is prepared to share with others. And it was all done through faith and love. See, the fearful, when you know the perfect love, when that works in you, it casts out all fear, because you know perfect love. That perfect love is what began this work and what will accomplish this work. You see what the fearful cannot see. You had to learn. But some are hard-headed and have dirty ears, itching ears, and heavy heart. And I do love you all. Many blessings.